Good morning to the honorable ministers of the council, members of the media, online viewers, radio listeners via St. Martin Gov Radio, 107.9 FM, and respective radio stations island-wide. I'm Relika Roach, and welcome to the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. At this time, I would like to invite the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, the Honorable Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, to address you. Minister Samuel, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Roach, and good morning to you. Good morning, PM. Good morning to my colleague ministers. Good morning to the members of the media, and most naturally to the people of St. Martin. On Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, that is today, at 7 p.m., I will be hosting, in cooperation with the University of Curaçao, Dr. Moses da Costa Gomez, an information session for the legal studies provided in St. Martin. I want to provide a helping hand and alternative for high school graduates. For years, the majority of the high school graduates have been going to the Netherlands to get a law degree. Since the University of Curaçao, upon request of the government of St. Martin, has established a division in St. Martin, it is now possible for those high school graduates to choose to study in St. Martin and stay in St. Martin during their study. The pre-law study will prepare students for the Bachelor of Law study. The pre-law will contain Dutch classes and general introduction law. The Bachelor of Law educates students to become broadly oriented legal specialists with an outlook on a variety of jobs, varying from governmental legal positions, lawyers, or judges. As a bachelor graduate, you will have access to the master program of the UOC St. Martin Division. The pre-law, it is good that this is happening, because the bachelor law program that is now ongoing was to always have a preparation course to bring those students up to par in order to be able to take part in the bachelor program. So now I'm asking all the people of St. Martin that are interested in getting a law degree, those working in government, out of government, in offices, to pay close attention, get the information, and take part and make use of this very, very good initiative. My other topic, on December 2020, St. Martin and the Netherlands signed the country reform package as one of the elaborate conditions in providing liquidity support to St. Martin. One of the conditions is to address the educational issues under the heading St. Martin Education Review. The Inspectorate of ECYS of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sports is heading this project. On Monday, August 23rd, which was the day before yesterday, a work visit regarding the St. Martin Education Review project started. This work visit will continue during the course of the week. A delegation from the Inspectorate of Education in the Netherlands is on St. Martin to work alongside the Inspectorate of Education of St. Martin under the leadership of Mrs. Dorothy Ellis Lawrence, head of the Division of Inspection, Education, Culture, and Sports. As of July 2021, both inspectorates have been actively carrying out desk research entailing review of existing education legislation, also review of existing policies, various reports drafted over the past 5 years, and a vast amount of data have been provided where possible. The objective of the work visit is to provide hands-on exposure to the actual reality of education on St. Martin, as well as the connection between education and the labor market. The research team will be visiting schools, school boards, and other stakeholders during the course of the 5 days work visit. School's visit will consist of a tour of the institution, discussion with the school board, and school management teams, care teams, teachers, and students. I will leave it to this, and I will await any questions. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister Samuel, for your opening remarks. At this time, I would like to invite the Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor, the Honorable Omar Otley, to address you. Minister Otley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rolika. Good day to the media, the viewing and listening public, my honorable colleagues, esteemed Council of Ministers. I would like to start today with a moment of silence for those that we have lost, not only yesterday, but throughout this pandemic. Thank you. As of August 24th, CPS has reported 3,520 confirmed cases from the start of COVID-19. We are averaging 30 to 35 cases per day. We have, unfortunately, 46 deaths reported due to COVID-19. It is critical that persons who are experiencing symptoms come forward and test. You can do so every day, Monday through Friday, at the Point Blanche near the harbor from 8 to 11 a.m. and on Saturdays from 8 to 12 a.m. I must note that there will be a change in testing location in the weeks to come. It will move from Point Blanche to Hope Estate, okay? So that will be notified days before, and where persons can receive their new location for testing. I am happy to announce that we will start the vaccination pop-ups again. The vaccination pop-up will take place this Saturday at the Vineyard building, but however, it will be different. We will have the entire parking space. There will be the tents. There will be social distancing. It will be strict measures as to wear your mask, because we are in the midst of a resurgence, but we do understand that persons need to be vaccinated. I'm also happy to announce that the FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine. It is sad that many persons decided to wait on this approval, and in the midst of waiting, lost their life. So I hope now that we can encourage many to come to be vaccinated. I would like to extend my gratitude towards the Port of St. Martin and Royal Caribbean for accommodating CPS for the past years with the space to provide the drive-through testing. I will give you more specifics date as we speak. The drive-through testing and facility at the harbor in Point Blanche will be relocated to the community help desk in Hope Estate as of August 28th. I repeat, as of August 28th, the testing will be at the community help desk in Hope Estate. So persons, please do not go to Point Blanche looking for testing. In closing, I would like to address a couple of remarks. I guess this week was Minister Otley week, but it comes with the territory. So with that being said, I'd like to first address the mental health aspect. There was a report yesterday in the newspaper from a lawyer stating that they have reached out to me many times and had no correspondence with the mental health issues and the patient regarding their case. I won't call the patient name due to respect for the family, and I refuse to let anyone tarnish my name or reputation as if I am not working or caring for the people. So we say that there was no correspondence, but I would like to provide a list. I have all the emails here. On July 7th, there was an email sent by the lawyer Hartman. On July 9th, the cabinet sent an email to Inspectorate VSR to follow up. On July 12th, a meeting was held with Inspectorate VSR about the situation. I was told to give some time and they would respond. On July 22nd, an email was sent by Mr. Hartzman. On July 22nd, an email was sent from the cabinet to the inspectorate. On July 23rd, the cabinet forwarded the findings from the inspectorate to the representative. On August 16th, the minister, myself, sent a memo to MHF requesting deadlines, compliance, and all that was all the issues that were stated in the inspectorate report, and requested a deadline in which all these requirements will be met by mental health. On August 18th, I received 81 questions from the representative, Mr. Hartzman, in which all of these are to be sent to the inspectorate as they are the correct personnel to handle such matters. On August 24th, the newspaper comes out, no correspondence from Minister of VSR. Now this seems like correspondence to me. I have stated it here over and under that I will do my best, and I have done my best to address the mental health issues, and I will continue to do so. It may not be as fast as persons want, and it's stated, in which was stated in the article, they understand that there is legislation issues that cause matters. But if we understand this, let's communicate instead of trying to drag someone when we have been nothing but open and transparent. This will be the last time I speak about it, first and the last time. I would like to address the whole club issue, the club saga. It's quite disappointing to me that we can make a whole big issue without finding out the facts. And it's amazing that every other MP, whether coalition or opposition, can say, Minister Otley, we know that this was not true. I have here, I don't know if the screen can pick it up, but conversation between the owner and myself the same Friday, 9 a.m. I said, I spoke to inspectorates, I spoke to the Secretary General, and I spoke to KPSM. The rental can take place, but not past 11 p.m. Responded, okay, I will not rent the place, rather open to the public. I said, please remember capacity. Please ensure you review the guidelines that I sent to you from the annex that I sent to everyone. There you have the minister reminding them, you cannot go past 11. 2, please remember capacity. 2, remember guidelines. Okay. The owner, being one of the head of the Nightclubs Association, they asked me to come by that night. I went there after 10, where the owner showed me where he wants to put a testing facility, where the owner showed me the names that were listed, how they do in contact tracing, and out of 500 capacity, they had 120 persons in the club that night. Upon talking, the driver, my assistant, came to me. He said, Minister, it's 11. I'll go get the car. I said, no problem. He went downstairs. He got the car. I waited. He came up. He got me, and I left. I had no confrontation with the police. I'm disappointed in the media to put Omar Otley quarrels with police. I had no confrontation with the police. I didn't even say hi, bye, good night to any police officers. That's number one. And to wake up and hear that I was in confrontation and my colleague, the Minister of Justice, had to send police to shut me down. That is a blatant lie. I will address matters on my time and no one else's time. So I decided to address it to you, the media. I had no issue with any police. I had no quarreling. I did not give permission. And I reminded the club of their protocols. On the Monday after the event, I have emails to show where I did instruct the club owner that I cannot approve the test. It would have to be done by the inspectorate. And they emailed me with the test information, asking for a meeting with the inspectorate for the clubs to administer testing upon reopening. Speaking of testing upon reopening, the plan is to keep the nightclubs restricted until 11 p.m. until October 1st. Thank you very much. Hope I have cleared everything.
Thank you, Minister Otley, for your opening remarks. I would now like to invite the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, to address you. Minister Richardson, you have the floor.
Good morning, Prime Minister, colleague ministers, DCOM, Ms. Roach, members of the press, the listening and viewing public. This morning, I would like to give some updates and notices from the Ministry of Justice. As we are aware, school reopened on August 9th, 2021. Since the beginning of the new school year, St. Martin Police Force has been quite essential in assisting with the traffic controls on the L.B. Scott Road during the early morning rush hour to ensure of a free flow of traffic to and from the St. Peter's and South Reward area. As Minister of Justice and on behalf of KPSM, all motorists who have cooperated with the police thus far during the morning rush hour, we would like to say thank you. There are, however, some challenges with motorists that are not adhering to traffic rules and regulations. Their behavior causes disturbance and even more so, congestion during these busy times. Police officers have observed some parents and bus drivers who stop on the main road for children to exit vehicles while impending traffic. There are motorists who double park close to school areas, compounding traffic issues. Also, some motorcycle and scooter riders are overtaking rows of vehicles to create further traffic difficulties for vehicles needing to turn left. Officers have also seen the dangerous practice of a rider with 2 or more children on a scooter, which puts themselves and these children at great risk. While KPSM continues to work to ensure the roads of St. Martin are safe, it is a task that cannot be done alone. As such, we're asking the community to please be aware of your doings and work with the officers as they try their best for everyone to commute safely to work. I'd like to also take this opportunity to extend my appreciation to the police officers of KPSM for all that they have been doing and in assisting the public. With regards to no loitering around schools, bullying and fighting being closely monitored. On August 12, 2021, I signed the ministerial decree in which the districts of Cul-de-Sac, St. Peter's, Ebenezer, and South Reward have been designated as areas for stricter law enforcement where it comes to criminal behavior by truant and loitering juveniles. Police officers will be strictly monitoring compliance of this national ordinance. They will act against other punishable behavior, in particular concerning violations of traffic, fighting, weapons, and or drug ordinances. Police officers will be patrolling the 4 districts between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The ministerial decree is valid until July 1st, 2022, and can be found on the National Gazette, the Ministry of Justice Facebook page, and the Ministry of Justice official website. As it relates to immigration permits, it appears that the department has quite a number of permits that have not been collected. As such, the Immigration and Border Protection Services recently published a list of their clients on the Government of St. Martin website and the Ministry of Justice Facebook page, calling on applicants to please come and pick up your permits. Should the applicant whose names are published fail to pick up their residence permits within 8 weeks, pursuant to paragraph 3.12.1 of the guidelines of the Minister of Justice 2012, the decisions will become negative due to lack of interest. Please bear in mind that with COVID on the rise, of course, appointments are needed, so we are asking you to please use the measures we've published on our website, on the government's page of how you can contact the Immigration Department. Making moves to improve the Ministry of Justice on Monday, August 23rd, 2021, together with the Acting Secretary General of the Ministry of Justice, Ms. Ligia Stella, her and I welcomed the arrival of Mr. Alvin Dahl from the Ministry of Justice, Curacao. Mr. Dahl is a change management expert who works for the Ministry of Justice in Curacao and was essential in the restructuring of the Curacao justice chain. He comes with a wealth of knowledge and will be assisting in the restructuring and improvement of St. Martin's justice chain. After his assessment of the Ministry of Justice, a report will be produced and a plan of action will be put into play as we are making moves for positive changes to this ministry. During his work visit, he will be conducting an organizational assessment of the ministry, which will include a study of the overall organizational structure, its planning and control, our budget, the primary processes concerning detainee care, and rehabilitation, support processes, personnel development systems, information system, and the organizational culture of our prison and the ministry. The assessment would also include interviews with executives, core officials, and staff, representatives of SEI Bay, the Chief of Police, and our unions. Mr. Dahl will also engage in a review and discussion regarding the policy responsibilities of the Ministry of Justice. With all hands on deck, we shall achieve positive progress. As such, after a joint recruitment and selection process between the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Interior and Kingdom Relations, BZK, BZK has hired a program manager, Mr. Rob Cates-Fitz-Bosk, for a period of 1 year to lead the execution of the DEE plan or action plan for St. Martin. This plan aims to holistically improve our prison system on St. Martin over a 5-year period. In the interim, I, as minister, have engaged the services of SOI Bay to also review some responses or reactions we received to our publication to identify a new prison director. That process went very positive, and we are moving forward to identify an official prison director who has been there in the past, have all been interims, and now we move to establish an official prison director. This prison director will also go on to Curacao for a month, and seeing that Mr. Dahl is here and he will have the opportunity to observe our current situation at the Point Blanche prison, while our new prison director is in Curacao, his trainings will focus on exactly what our situation here is here in St. Martin. The core interests and efforts to strengthen the Ministry of Justice and to change the prison environment, I'm extremely elated for the arrival of Mr. Dahl and Mr. Cates-Fitz-Bosk, and to finally identify a new prison director. I look forward to delving into this matter and getting the guidance from a fresh pair of eyes that these gentlemen are bringing. As minister, I will continue to make vital changes. Some will agree, some won't, but ultimately, as I've stated in the past, these steps and measures are to be able to bring a positive difference, not just for the ministry internally, but that in the services we provide external. And lastly, I'd like to mention or make known that on Monday, September 6th to the 6th to the 8th, 2021 of September, I will be hosting St. Martin's first National Youth Delinquency Symposium. The symposium will serve as an opportunity for all stakeholders involved with youth care and prevention of youth delinquency to discuss topics related to their operations within the field of youth with an emphasis on delinquency. Youth delinquency has remained an important aspect that warrants focus and attention. The justice chain is the last, or should be, the last resort. And oftentimes when a child has arrived within our system, it means that certain prior interventions such as parental upbringing and schools, etc., have all not been as impactful as we would like to be able to steer that child in the right direction. To exacerbate this, the youth delinquency network of St. Martin is very limited due to a scarce resources and capacity situation. Notwithstanding that, there is a need to ensure that our youth are kept out of the penal system. The consideration for this symposium is based on the need to establish a comprehensive system that supports at-risk youth and their families. Moreover, youth delinquency warrants a layered approach to which government must ensure an array of initiatives are established to tackle this target group. This is achievable by utilizing and incorporating existing services, structures, agencies, as well as capacities, with the aim to reduce the number of youth in the justice system and provide parents, youth service providers, and alternative measures, programs, and improve our network. I hope that this symposium will highlight the bottlenecks in the work method with at-risk youth, and that we will be able to start cleaning out those bottlenecks. I'd like to thank the general public as well as the media for the opportunity to share these updates, and I remain available.
Thank you, Minister Richardson, for your opening remarks. At this time, I would like to re-invite the Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor, the Honorable Omar Otley, to address you. Minister Otley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Relika. Thank you, members of the media again. I just want to be short. As I ended on that note, I think what is important is the people of St. Martin and their health, not the nonsense. And I encourage everyone once again to come out to get vaccinated. And each and every one of you here have a responsibility. Each and every one of you here have a following. And this is what I would like each and every one of you to post. I see you post many other things. Through the month of August, there have been 12 deaths. 9 unvaccinated, 2 partially vaccinated, 1 fully vaccinated. That is what I need the public to see. That is the direction we need to go, not the nonsense. 12 deaths in 1 month. 9 unvaccinated, 2 partially vaccinated, 1 fully vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Otley. I would also now like to re-invite the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, the Honorable Dr. Anders Rudolph Samuel, to provide you with another opening statement.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. In regards to the continuity of education, we have stated that when school open, what we do as we go along is to bring an update in regards to, most naturally, the health situation regarding the COVID numbers. At this moment, I can provide for you that since the opening of school, we have 17 students tested positive for COVID. We have 12 teachers tested positive for COVID, and that is from the primary school. From the secondary schools, we have 18 students tested positive and 4 teachers tested positive. Now, we do not want anyone in the schools tested positive. That would be the best because the health of everyone comes first. But we are looking at a population of over 7,000 students. And we are asking everyone, especially the adults, the community of St. Martin, to assist in bringing down even these numbers that we have. So what can probably happen is that you can have a school in, let us say, in South Reward that would have infections, but that does not mean you would have to close the school in Simpson Bay. If you have a school in Cold Bay that have positive students, together with CPS, we work out what is the best possible way to manage the situation. But we do not close down the entire school system because of this. So yes, we are working together with the healthcare professionals. We have to keep an eye that the school population, the managers, the schools, the teachers, the parents, and everyone, keep an eye and make sure, pay attention to the protocols laid down in order to keep everybody safe. I would like to stay here with this until the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Samuel. At this time, I would like to invite the Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment, and Infrastructure, the Honorable Egbert Duran, to address you. Minister Duran, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. Good morning, Prime Minister, colleague ministers, members of the media, and a special good morning to the people of St. Martin. Today, I have a brief update for you. In regards to the road repairs, the Ministry of Romy has been actively working in collaboration with the contracted partner, Winter Roads, to repair our road network. The road repair works began in early 2021 with the paving of the Walter Nisbet Road and the Illage Road and also Mattamy State. In July, the road repair works resumed, and the following can be reported thus far. Union Road, Jordan Road, Lowlands, Potentia Road in Simpson Bay, Welfare Road, Browers Road, K-Bay Road, and Colby Road have all been repaired. The road repairs for Bishop Hill Road will commence on Thursday, August 26th. Lastly, the road repairs for L.B. Scott Road and Sugar Garden Road will commence next week. The ministry acknowledges the general frustration with the quality of our road network, but ensures that all motorists that our road network repair team is exercising all efforts possible to successfully complete this project. As I mentioned last week in regards to the Hulda B. Richardson Road, which is the intersection at Miller Region and Sucker Garden, close to Defiance, there will be roadworks taking place this weekend, And also, an article came out yesterday, and the deviation and all the signs will be placed in the necessary areas for the detour to take place. I would also like to remind the general public that we are now in the hurricane season, in the most, vulnerable time that we are used to getting storms and different movements. I urge you to clean up your area, clean up your yard, follow the hurricane cleanup schedule that is published by the garbage haulers, and also be safe and prepare for in the event of. Ms. Roach, that'll be all for now with the brief updates, and I look forward to any questions members of the media might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Duran, for your opening remarks. At this time, I would like to invite the Prime Minister and Minister of General Affairs, the Honorable Silveria Jacobs, to address you. Prime Minister Jacobs, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. Good morning to you. Good morning to my fellow colleagues. Good morning to the members of the press and, of course, the people of St. Martin joining us. I'd like to inform the general public that yesterday, the Princess Juliana International Airport and Ballast Needham International Projects, BV, signed the official reconstruction agreement for the Princess Juliana International Airport. This has been a long time coming, and we're very happy that this first step in the process to reconstruct the airport tangibly has been taken. It is a signing. The next step, of course, is mobilization and then groundbreaking, and we look forward to that. I should be able to meet with the CEO of Ballast Needham International and the CEO of the airport to be updated on the way forward during this afternoon. As we all know, the project is funded by the European Investment Bank, the St. Martin Trust Fund, and the St. Martin Trust Fund is financed by the government of St. Martin via the World Bank, implemented by the National Recovery and Program Bureau on behalf of the government of St. Martin. This is a great step. It is a 2-year trajectory, and the mobilization is expected to start during this month of August, so within the next couple of days. The health situation on St. Martin is not just a concern for a small segment. The minister already addressed some of the key issues that have been prevalent in the society, but I feel it pertinent as the Prime Minister to address also the fact that we as a community have a role to play in this. We cannot focus on the negativity. We must look towards, with hope and faith, that it can be better and what we can do to make it better. Government has made some steps. We've closed down nightlife at 11 p.m. Some people say, what does that mean? Doesn't the virus move after 11? The virus moves when people move. Not only have we done that, we have reinstituted awareness of the protocols that were in place since 2020 for businesses to reopen. So I expect that all businesses, as the minister this week, last week, and the weeks before of both TEAT and VSA have been reminding, that these are things that we need to pay attention to. The things that kept us safe in 2020 can keep us safe in 2021. We have the added value of vaccination. Many countries of the world are clamoring to have that vaccination. Yes, you are free to choose to take it or not take it, but to protect yourself, whether you're vaccinated or not, is a must. We must uphold the protocols and keep ourselves safe. There is community spread. So asking where clusters are makes no sense. It is everywhere. You can pick it up in one place, and especially if you're asymptomatic and you're everywhere, it is also everywhere. Who is in peril? Unvaccinated persons are in peril. What do I mean by that? They are at a higher risk of having extreme health conditions and death. The minister mentioned the number of deaths we have had in St. Martin. If we don't want to just look at St. Martin, look around the world. This is a pandemic. It means it's affecting everyone. St. Martin is no exception, and we must take the necessary steps to protect ourselves. So I'm asking the people of St. Martin once again, you know what you have to do, we know what we have to do. Compliance with protocols, yes, it is government's duty to go and look. We have stepped up inspections, and not just in nightlife, but throughout the day. The minister is updating us on a weekly basis on that as well. So it's not just businesses, but also organizations, anywhere where you can have gatherings, schools, daycare facilities, and even other medical and care facilities for the most vulnerable. Each entity must do their part. Government has also provided extra beds, which have not yet been used. So we're taking the precautions. We're guarding our medical staff and facilities. The minister is having weekly meetings with the Dutch as well and the other kingdom partners, and we are collaborating. And hopefully we can beat this, but we need to work together. So basically what I'm asking is that instead of looking out, let us all look inward. We're seeing family members, the more and more, let's call it, deaths are recorded, the more we realize someone is affected that you know. From the beginning, I have said, it is up to us to protect us. Wearing a mask, washing hands, we know what to do. Keep your mask on in areas where you are in crowds or with people you do not know the status of. We are also providing more opportunities for testing. With more testing, our numbers go up. So get tested. If you doubt your symptoms or you suspect your symptoms, get tested. Knowing your status will adjust your behavior. And when you don't know, wear your mask consistently. That is proven to protect us. We cannot force anyone to get vaccinated, but I look forward to legislation at least mandating that you get tested before entering into certain facilities. This will help to protect our people as well, and I look forward to that. And we can argue about rights and who has a right to do what. I think all of us have a right to live, and the most vulnerable most of all. The children have a right to stay in school. So protect your children, protect the teachers, protect our doctors and nurses, protect those people who have to go to hospital and who are not able to go to hospital because of too many cases of COVID-19. They're now also at risk. It is up to all of us. So I trust that all of us will see the part that we can play individually and that we will move forward in that regard. I commend all our medical health professionals, especially those in hospital, especially those that are working at CPS and supporting CPS. And of course, I commend the Minister of Health for the leadership he is giving in this regard. He has the support of the Council of Ministers, the Minister of Justice, myself, in terms of ensuring that we collaborate to make sure we protect, and the Minister of Finance also, who has to secure the funds to be able to do all the extras that we demand on a weekly basis to protect the people of St. Martin. And when people mention that the economy is not more important than our health, when you see what happened last year when we didn't have vaccines, there's half of the population saying shut down, the other half saying don't shut down. We had no choice last year because we didn't know as a world what we were dealing with. We know today a shutdown is not necessary. We have to learn to control our individual behaviors. It boils down to individuals. People are saying you need consequences. We have consequences, and the consequences, according to our law, says you have to issue warnings first. The consequences said, at this point, you can't clamp a ban on someone's hand and say you should be indoors. But if we have to go there, people, we will go there. So let us not move toward a more police state. Let us control ourselves. And I'm sure, like we did before, when there were no vaccines, now with the help of vaccine, we should be able to get there faster. So I encourage you to make use of the pop-ups. I encourage you to make use of the daily opportunity to vaccinate at CPS. And I encourage you to protect yourselves and your family, thereby safeguarding all our livelihoods and safeguarding the community of St. Martin. I also have a meeting with the Integrity Chamber today. The board is on the island fully and the chair will be presenting their annual report to me. That will take place today. And as Minister Doran mentioned, we are in the hurricane season. We are at the peak of the hurricane season. Remain vigilant. Go to the DCOM website, go to government's website. We have many, many opportunities for information. We know how to find the negativity. Let's also look for the positivity, look at ways to prevent and prepare for the hurricane, look at ways to prevent COVID-19 from spreading, And thank you for DCOM as well for all you're doing to assist in keeping the public aware during this difficult time. I thank you and look forward to any questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs, for your opening remarks. If you've just joined us, you are watching the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. Thank you for joining us. We now move on to the question and answer session. However, before we begin, I would like to inform that the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Artwell Edion, is present, however, will not be making any opening statements, but is available for any questions the media may have. The floor is open, and I would like to invite Pb Aug Shah of SMN News. You have the floor.
Good morning. Thank you, Relaika. Good morning, ministers, colleagues. Prime Ministers, I listened to your statements and your opening remarks regarding protocols and everything that is in place for COVID-19. I'd like to ask you, as Minister of General Affairs and responsible for this press briefing, what protocols are in place for non-vaccinated media workers that are inside next to us, sitting next to us, the vaccinated? I'd like to know. I want to protect me before I can protect you or anyone else. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Good morning, Ms. Shaw. As you know, for everyone that enters this press briefing room, there are protocols. We have hand sanitizers. I believe when you enter the door, you had, 3 or 4 that you must have passed to get into this room, and including one in this room. Mask wearing is also mandatory in the government administration building, and we maintain a social distance between all of you you're all masked. So even if you don't have the 2 meters, the masks are sufficient. So as a government of St. Martin, you also have Lysol wipes to wipe off the microphone before using it. And so therefore we feel that as government of St. Martin, all our staff is masked. We are also masked unless we are talking. And so therefore you're protected. Just as you would be in a grocery store, at the post office, at the bank, in the streets, or wherever else you would go, including restaurants and the like. So we're doing our part. Each of you should do your part as well.
Thank you, Prime Minister Jacobs, and thank you, Bibi, for the question. I would now like to invite Jeffrey Dr. Sockren of Isle 92 Radio. You have the floor.
Thank you, Relaika. Good morning to the members of the council. I want to thank you for your leadership. This is not an easy time to be in government, and I admire your passion for what you're all doing. Minister Samuel, if I might ask you, the numbers that you shared with us about the schools are truly a bit alarming and quite frankly scary. And I think our Prime Minister said it best. We need to protect the teachers and protect our students. What are we doing in terms of what's the vaccination rate amongst our teachers? What's the vaccination rate amongst the schools? Will there be a mandate for teachers to be vaccinated? Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Dr. Sak, for the question. One of the things that you would notice is that the numbers that I have given, primary schools, secondary schools, and I have given also a whole summary. So I did not mention that school, this person, that class. That is because if you have followed the COVID information that comes out, we have never mentioned the names of persons in order to respect the identity of the persons given. Now, if one student is infected with COVID or Delta, whichever, I believe that is one student too much, too many, too much. When we give a situation with 17 students being tested positive, what we did not do is indicate directly. We cannot know always whether that student has been infected in school or out of school. But once that student is infected, the student no longer comes to school until it has completed the protocol given to them by CPS. The same thing is for the teachers. The same thing goes for the staff. So Once we follow the protocol laid down by CPS, we believe that we are doing what is expected. Now, the protocols from CPS is not just you stay home for 2 weeks. CPS goes through a whole rugged contact tracing. They ask the questions. They check to see what is the situation regarding the rest of the class, the other staff members, the rest of the school. And if it is deemed necessary that a class would go home because the student in the class was in touch with their peers, then that class goes home. And we are cognizant of the situation that took place last year with one school where we was asking the whole school to close, and where CPS, in collaboration with the school, could have worked out the situation that the whole school did not have to close. And that is why I'm indicating here, if a school in South Reward has students that are infected, that does not mean the school in Simpson Bay would have to close or the school in Cold Bay would have to close. When it comes to who is vaccinated and who is not vaccinated under the school family, under education family, under teachers and students, just like in the public sphere, we are not mandating you go and vaccinate, you go and vaccinate. What we are not doing is we are not asking you're coming in the facility or you're coming into school, are you vaccinated, are you not vaccinated? What the Prime Minister have indicated is that we are hoping to get legislation in place where we can say we are mandating you to test so that we can see, but that is not yet in place, and we hope to have that in place. Now that the Pfizer vaccine has been approved, I know a lot of persons used to say, yeah, but we do not have a vaccine, or it is not approved. Now it is approved. I hope that a lot of persons would now change their mind and go and be vaccinated. To the teachers and those students that are old enough and the staff of all the schools on the island, I would like to ask you to take someone else into consideration and listen to our Minister of Public Health. I don't think he can. What more do you want him to do? He has begged, he has talked to you directly. Today he have asked the media to show the numbers to the public in the way the numbers are. Who is in the hospital dealt with the virus? Who is sick? And what is the correlation with being vaccinated and not vaccinated? And I believe that we all must play a role. Children are in need of their education. I believe health comes first, but the children are in need of their education. And I hope that not only the parents, the students, the teachers, all of us in the community can help along in order to keep St. Martin students going to school in order to obtain their education. Online is not a joke. We all have experienced it. And when we put the students online, it also means that many employees of various establishments will not be able to come to work because sometimes they don't have nowhere to put their child. And it also has an effect on the community. But health comes first, and my students need their education. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Minister Samuel. I would like to invite Minister Otley to add to that remark.
Yeah, it's going to be real short. Just as we do ministers, media personnel, we don't separate the vaccination rates. So teachers will fall within the adult population. That's about 55% of who received the first shot, as you know. And 12 and up, 12 to 17, we have about 35% of that age group. Be mindful. I don't want people to add the two together and say, oh, we're not at 80, because there is a difference from 0 to, but just to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Otley. I would now like to invite Lyndon Brown of BCAN TV. You have the floor.
Good morning to the people of St. Martin and the ministers that are present here Today, this question and statement going to the Minister of Roaming. It's a great day for GEB. After a long saga, now GEB found a board, and with young professional. And Minister of Roaming, can you explain to the people what's the plan you have for GEB and how it was to reach this far?
Good morning again to the people of St. Martin. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for your statement/question. In regards to the vision of the government of St. Martin for GEBE, of course, as your colleague, Mr. Sack, has referred to it a lot, we would like to see sustainable energy to be able to decrease the amounts that persons have to pay, as I indicated here, and also in several meetings with the respective company, is that I believe that we are lagging behind in terms of the way of the world and moving forward in that regard. Indeed, as you mentioned, prospective candidates were sent to be vetted by the CGC for potential placement on the GB Supervisory Board of Directors. At the moment, there is currently 3 vacancies. As shareholder, you can always request persons to be vetted by the CGC, which is what we did as a shareholder, and it is within our right to do that. And indeed, as you mentioned, the candidates that were vetted most recently are young local professionals, all holding degrees in their different respective areas. And as a Council of Ministers, we believe that that is important, especially in respect to one of our main and only lifeline, GB, government-owned company that has been doing, I wouldn't say optimal, but doing well in comparison to the port and the airport, especially since the hurricane and also now with the new COVID pandemic. GB, as we know, is a monopoly. So therefore, it's the most viable asset of the people of St. Martin. GB has always been a company, a family company, especially in the days of Mr. Lambert. And as I indicated, I am very disappointed in the manner in which things have been going recently in the recent years. And as part of the shareholder and especially with my portfolio that falls directly in regards to GB in terms of energy and so forth, it is my #1 priority to do whatever I can do in my power to be able to get GB back where it needs to be and more in touch with the people. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Durant, for your response. Lyndon, thank you for the question. Members of the media, please note this will be the only round of questions we will have for this press briefing. I would now like to invite Ralph Cantab of Phillipsburg Broadcasting. You have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Roach, and good morning to everyone in the room. I have a question for the Minister of Roaming. During the budget debate, you revealed graphics of an affordable development or housing plan. I believe in the Vineyard building is where it's supposed to be. You can clarify that. Sorry, Vineyard area. So can you share any further update on that project and how it's going in terms of an expected date to begin construction, as well as efforts to seek financing to get it off the ground?
Thank you for your question, Ralph. In regards to the project that was unveiled and during the budget debate, it is, we use the term Vineyard Heights. That is the name of the project, of course, because it is in the Vineyard area. It is currently, we are now in the phase where we're talking about issuing, as I mentioned, is a multifaceted approach in terms of we issue 25 lots to individuals, and then we deal with a sort of a, let's say, compared to Stichting Overheidsgebouwen, where we have a government-run foundation that will then manage the land and develop the land, which then can seek financing, as was done in the past with the ambulance building and the fire building, and also the Asher Stevens School, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And with that financing, it would then finance the duplex homes and different things. We also have a tender that will be coming up to start to do the infrastructure for that area and start the development. In regards to a definitive timeline on the entire project, I cannot give that at the moment. However, we have began to issue the parcels of land to the individuals so that they can start with the development. As I mentioned also in the budget debate, we're doing pre-approved building permits in the sense of all the let's say the duplex, the individual homes, they will have a unique look. And let's say if you go and buy let's say a car, a Tucson, you can get it with a sunroof, you can get it with rims, you can get it different specs. Each individual, based on their spending capacity or borrowing capacity, then maybe could add a pool, could maybe add an extra studio, extra 1-bedroom to be able to supplement their loan. That is basically the gist of that project with respect to the issuance of the land in long lease. And then with other 18 lots, we will be building duplex homes, which would then equal to 36 individuals being able to purchase their homes. Then we have 7 towers. So that is basically a breakdown of the presentation that I gave. And the next step right now is to issue the public, publish the tender in order to do put out the infrastructure so that those persons can commence with the construction. And then the government entity will then manage the duplex homes and the other projects within that area. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Minister Duran, and thank you, Ralph, for the question. I would now like to invite Stephen Cerulean of PJD2 Radio. You have the final question.
Thank you, Ms. Roach. Good morning to you, Prime Minister. Ministers, good morning to you, my colleagues as well. If I may pitch in, I have gotten my 2 jobs and I'm doing just fine. My question is for the Minister of Finance. Minister, I think it was last week you mentioned that the budget would have been presented or discussed within the conference of the Council of Ministers. Can you provide some information as it relates to the budget?
Good morning to the people of St. Martin. Good morning to you, Mr. Cerulean. In regards to the budget 2022, I'm assuming you're referring to, yes, that has been sent to the Council of Ministers, and we will actually be hopefully approving tomorrow in the Council of Ministers meeting we have tomorrow. And then from there on, it will be sent on to CFD and the Council of Advice. But it's done and it should be approved tomorrow.
Thank you, Minister Edion. Thank you, Stephen, for the question. Members of the media, this does bring us to the end of the question and answer session. Any further questions can be sent to the Minister's Cabinet in writing. Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, radio listeners, and online viewers, this brings us to the end of the live Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. For rebroadcast, tune into St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, the official Facebook page of the Government of St. Martin, the YouTube channel Government of St. Martin, and St. Martin Cable TV channel 115. For video on demand, log on to the Government of St. Martin's YouTube channel. On behalf of the Department of Communication and the Government of St. Martin, I'm Relicka Roach and wishing you a pleasant day further.